What's up, everybody? My name is Josh Duke with Florida Kayak Anglers. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of our YouTube weekly series. Today I'm going to be covering a couple basics about flipping from a kayak and really flipping in general. I get asked probably the most about flipping because the reality is most of my big fish come from flipping. It's a little different from flipping from a kayak. Flipping in general can be kind of a hard technique, but it's a really important technique to have dialed in Florida. There's a lot of fish that I would not have been able to catch if I wasn't flipping. When they're in heavy grass, there's no other way to get to them. So it's a really important technique. So I want to walk through a couple, my rod, my reel, my setup, just to kind of give away some information so you guys can really start maximizing your time in the water with flipping. So the first thing I'll kind of cover is what kind of rod I use. I currently am using a Kistler Helium 3 7'6" heavy extra fast rod. The reason I like this rod is it's super lightweight. I like an extra fast tip. So it can really kick in fast. A lot of guys that I know, it's kind of a preference. Some will fish moderate fast, meaning there's a little more give in the rod tip. I feel like for me, especially if you're flipping from a kayak, I feel like for me, I want something really fast. I want to be able to feel it, set the hook, and make sure I've got the maximum momentum on that fish. So I feel like sometimes, maybe it's just my hook set style, I feel like sometimes with a moderate fish, it gives them too much time to get back into thicker grass. If I'm flipping heavy grass, I want to be able to feel and start yanking immediately. I just like that extra fast. Everything I flip with is extra fast 7.6. Regardless of the brand that you use. One of my all-time favorite flipping rods is a G Loomis, and I've used this rod for maybe like 7 years. This is the Mossy Back series. This is 7.5 fast action heavy rod. This is one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, I feel like for flipping from a kayak, you can't really go wrong with a 7.6 rod. I feel like anything bigger than that is a little bit harder to swing from a kayak. Again, also I think it depends on your height. It's really whatever you're comfortable with. It's not that I haven't flipped with an 8-foot. I just feel like 7.6 is just a really comfortable spot to be flipping from a kayak. It also stores really well. I'm currently flipping from a Jackson Kayak Kilroy, which is really stable. So if you are wanting to flip from your kayak, it's really difficult doing that sitting down. A lot of seats today do have like a high-low seating. But one thing you really want to do is make sure you're comfortable flipping, standing up if you're going to be flipping, or else you're really not going to have a good time when you set the hook or it pops off or something, you bang into something, you could go swimming. So really make sure you're comfortable standing regardless of what kayak you're in. You want to make sure you're comfortable standing if you're going to be flipping. You can do a pitching motion, a flipping motion. Sitting down is just a little more difficult to kind of get that hook set sometimes. And you get a little bit more better leverage point when you're standing up, flipping into the grass. So that's a little bit about the rod. Again, for me personally, I like 7.6. That's kind of like my baseline. If I was designing like a flipping rod for kayak fishing, I would use 7.6. I don't have anything bigger than that. I just use 7.6. Now I will vary the strength. I might go up to extra heavy. I have been toying. I think I would like to do a custom Kistler rod at some point. Maybe like a 7.9 extra heavy. I think I'm going to do that this year and just get something a little bit more stout, a little bit longer in the boat. I feel like 7.9 would still be comfortable to flip from, so that's something I'm thinking about doing a custom rod later this year. The reel I'm using is the Corrado 70 XG. Just got this recently, really liking it. It's super fast, super lightweight. It pairs so well with the Kistler and with my G Loomis, so I'm loving this setup. I always have, for braid, I always have 65-pound braid tied on. I don't go anything less than that. I will go up to 80, but I feel like 65. If you've got one flipping setup, I'm going a 7.6 rod, extra fast tip. I feel like that's a good starting point. Again, you can toy with the tips if you like. I got 65-pound braid on. Typically got a 1/2 ounce to 3/8 ounce weight. I've got a Gamakatsu 3/0 extra wide gap superline hook. I've got some here you can take a look at. I really like this hook. Yeah, now sometimes I will say with my weight, I'll actually go down to a 3/8. I like going down to a 3/8 sometimes and flipping a Cinco. If I feel like there's a lot of flipping pressure, which there often is in Florida, if you're flipping behind people or just a lake that gets pressured a lot, man, flip a Cinco. It gives it a different presentation, cuts through the grass really well, and you'd really be surprised when you slow down, fish slow. I'll throw it in and just let it sit there and just wait. I'll fish really slow in the summer when it gets hot, which is getting hot now. So I'll fish really slow and I'll flip a Cinco, and I feel like I'm catching fish that a lot of people are missing because they're fishing too fast and the pressure's too high. So A couple other things I can do if I'm on a really good bite. Sometimes I'll dress it up. Same thing if I feel like the fish are aggressive and I want to do something different, I'll actually throw a flipping skirt on there. I don't like to actually flip jigs. You can. I mean, a lot of guys do and have a lot of success. That's why I like to use that extra wide gap. I'm Texas rigging, putting this on there, punching the weight. You know, pegging the weight down, and so I'm able to kind of punch in through the grass and have this skirt on there. I've got a lot of different skirts that I use. Yeah, so I got a lot of different ones that I'll use. These are the gambler skirts, and so yeah. So that's a few things just kind of about flipping. The reality is with flipping, everybody has to have that day or two where you just kind of get smacked in the face, where you flip all day. I remember the first time I did that, I was flipping in a tournament off the back of my buddy's boat. This was probably like 8 years ago. I'd never flipped before. And I flipped the entire time. I got skunked and missed tons of fish. Just that technique is just different, that underhand technique. So one thing I'd encourage you to do is peg a weight on there, go into your yard, dial it in with no hook, and just flip. When you're really wanting to learn something, man, I'd encourage you to get out in the yard and just put targets down, tighten your brakes a little bit on your reel so you can get used to that motion, and just sit there and dial it in. So yeah, just to kind of recap, I like to use a 7.6 heavy extra fast tip, and then I like to use a really high action, a fast ratio reel. I wouldn't go below 7-to-1, especially in today's market. 6.3 to 1 is very versatile. I'd go 7-to-1. If you can go 8-to-1, I've liked flipping 8-to-1 this season. I feel like I have gotten fish out fast, and I feel like it's been phenomenal. I mean, so this Curado's been great. If you're interested in the Curado, man, I picked this up on eBay. Got it for $50 off, brand new. So man, I know a lot of the main tackle distributors won't like that, but the reality is if you're looking for the new Curado or anything like that, eBay's a great spot for that. So yeah, just wanted to give away a few tips for you guys this week. Keep the questions rolling. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube video. Each week, man, we're just going to keep rolling and do weekly updates for you. I get a lot of questions, so this is kind of a way I want to answer a lot of questions for you guys, give you guys information. Really, we want this weekly video to be just an information hub for you to catch the biggest fish of your life and to catch a lot of fish and have fun doing it. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it again so much. And if you have any questions this week, just feel free to DM me or shoot me an email or comment below. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys soon.